Hi, Lily. I've been expecting you. I am this village's lord, Lady Maestre. I am this village's lord, Lily Maestre. You came to listen to my side of the story, right? Come this way, please. Apologies for my rudeness, but I need to get right to the point. We've heard rumors of you executing the men of this village without due process of law. You've talked to the people of this village, haven't you? The men here brutally abuse the women. They oppressed us and justify it as tradition. As a result, the majority of the women in this village died before the age of 20. The only thing that let us break out of those circumstances was power. We just defended ourselves. No matter the circumstances, those were lynchings. The law explicitly forbids that. Weren't lynchings, though? If they were legitimately being abused, calling them lynchings... I mean, what's the formal definition of a lynching? I think a lynching isn't... I mean, I only know lynchings as racially motivated things. Or, I guess it is just a mob going on and performing an execution. Regardless, when one person does it to another, it's not lynching. The central government pretends to enforce this constitution, but where has that gotten us? In this village, the average lifespan of men and women differed by over 30 years. The average lifespan of men and women differed by over 30 years? How the hell, like she said, the girls would die before the age of 20. Probably the abuse was a whole lot of bad touching. Bad touching, beatings, forced marriages, insufficient health care, the list goes on. Seriously? You aren't lying, are you? The capital had surely figured out at least that much, hadn't it? It knew of this, and yet it did nothing. It did nothing for such a long time. The 5th article of the Sebasta Constitution guarantees this village's local administrative rights, so a forceful intervention would be a violation of the Constitution. And yet here you are doing a bunch of victim blaming. Yes, that certainly would be an infringement of our local autonomy. Most abuses can be resolved without directly intervening in civil affairs. Many traditions are protected to allow freedom of thought, and above all, without victims willing to accuse their abusers won't have to face justice. Do you think the women of this village were capable of performing legal formalities? The women confined to their homes, unable to leave, being beaten continuously? Now, I've thought long and hard about what to do in a situation where a victim might be unwilling to voice their complaints against their abuser in a legal formality or even on the spot. And the only solution I have is if there is any suspicion of things going wrong, make a requirement to temporarily remove the supposed victim from the supposed abuser. If the victim must spend some time away from the abuser and feels safe, then they can press charges. And if there really is nothing going on, well then they spent a few days away from each other. Big freaking deal. You think I was pampered because I was the Lord's daughter? Wrong! I was a sacrificial lamb from the day I was born. In the end, the law only protected those brutes. What we needed was the power to break free from that mockery of life. Using a book of tentacle magic that had been left in this mansion, I gained that power, and once I was strong enough, I finally set the women of this village free. Now, you see, Lily in this game is a lot more understanding and sympathetic than she was in the previous game. In the previous game, it wasn't so much, it was a situation of, we're saved, and Lily was like, oh, I wouldn't say saved, more like under new management after getting rid of the old lord. This time, she let the women keep their sanity. She allowed them to deal with their abusers. And although in the previous one, it didn't seem like there was this level of abuse going on. Certainly, the persecution against witches was a bunch of bullshit, but I mean, the Church of Ilias was there, and Ilias would have been all for that, so that doesn't help things. But regardless, at least in the original, it didn't seem like this level of abuse was happening. But yes, definitely like Lily a lot better in this one. I deeply sympathize with your circumstances and apologize on behalf of the government for failing you so badly. Speaking strictly personally, I'm willing to accept what you did, but I'm in the position of having to act according to the law. Oh, well, you see, no one's around to to accuse us anymore. And we're just going to say nothing happened. Well, now that we're bringing up acting according to the law, what jurisdiction do you have over me as you are now? You abdicated from the throne, and the country is currently transitioning to a parliamentary democracy. Aren't you effectively a civilian now? Yes, you are correct. At most, I'm here as a concerned citizen who will be reporting the situation to the authorities. Well, as to the massacre of the men in this village, I only granted the women power. I did not order them to do anything. They decided to break free of their own accord. They reluctantly did what they had to in order to protect themselves. Based on those facts, their actions were certainly self-defense. What happened here was a series of incidents of self-defense, not a massacre. Well, if you're talking about, at least as far as legality goes, as far as I know, in the States at least, a situation like that, even if you had good intentions, basically spreading weapons to the populace, you knew that the results would be the deaths of many civilians. And that is a crime. Granted, you'll probably be given a whole bunch of leniency, given the situation, but it is still a crime. That's absurd! In the end, you will be held accountable as the massacre's mastermind. So, can you substantiate that accusation in court? I'm innocent until proven guilty under the Constitution. And besides, seeing as how you don't have any legal authority, I won't surrender myself to you. The reason I'm treating you like a guest despite that is because I want you to understand. Understand what our circumstances were, and why we couldn't go on without doing anything. If you want to accuse me despite understanding that, you're free to do so. However, our local autonomy and freedom from civil intervention is hard to overcome. We know that firsthand. And secondhand. And third hand. Fourth. Fifth. They didn't start up at 6 either. The very same laws that kept your father from being able to save us will work in our favor this time. So if you're intent on arresting me, come back with a warrant. You have no authority now, Miss X-Queen. Now do that. This matter isn't likely to be settled anytime soon. What is happening in this village must be fully investigated first. After that, I hope for a fair judgment that takes into account all the extenuating circumstances. Good grief. Don't blame Sarah so much. She was still a child when all that happened to you, and wasn't in a position to do anything about it. A child? Did this happen like last week or so? How long has it been since Lily did her uprising? I don't think it's been that long. Oh, F off. I don't think it's been that long. Granted, she still probably wasn't in power by then, but still. But then again, it all falls onto the previous Tsubasa King. Why didn't he do anything about it? Even if this area has autonomy, there should be basic human rights that extend to all regions. I would appreciate it if you would refrain from attacking our ex-queen. No one short of a goddess could pronounce a fair judgment in this matter. Also, I don't think you called us here just to score some jabs on our ex-queen. Don't you have something to talk to the rest of us about? Yes. I want to propose a deal. I think you know this already, but there are people rebelling against us. A mage named Lucia is leading a violent faction that doesn't want the power of tentacle magic to be spread around the world. Lucia was originally on my side, one of the women to whom I gave power. However, she now considers this magic dangerous and is trying to conceal it. Our disagreement broke out into armed conflict just a few days ago. I'd like you to end it by getting rid of Lucia. That's your request? For us to defeat the rebels' leader? Of course, since this is a deal, I have something to offer in return. If you succeed, I will accompany you on your journey myself. Meaning you'll become our comrade? Indeed, there are many more dog-trodden victims out there in the world. Since they have no power, they not only lack human dignity, but their lives are also in peril. Can't you hear them? The screams of those people. I can hear them. Their voices crying for help and power, and someone's got PTSD. Want to answer those cries, bestow the power of tentacle magic upon them, allowing them to free themselves. Journeying to save the oppressed? Are you serious? Of course she's serious. She's cuckoo, but she's serious. I mean, listen, can't you hear it? The child's crying voice. It's so loud, can't you hear it? Listen. From there too. And from there! They're crying! They're all crying, aren't they? Until these cries disappear. Until then, I must come to the aid of the weak. She's cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs! I saved everyone in this village, but the cries from the outside world won't stop. I intend to leave for a nearby village in order to stop those cries. That's when those rebels showed up. If only Lucia... But she was probably planning to head over to Ludite Village before it was destroyed, since that was very recent. If only Lucia disappeared, I could leave on my journey to save the oppressed and grant them power. You too have come here to save the weak, haven't you? And you and I are the same. So defeat Lucia. If you do, I'll journey together with you. You don't have to kill Lucia, just silence her. It's fine so long as she doesn't disturb the peace of this village. It seems like these are our true intentions. What shall we do, Luca? She doesn't seem to be lying. What do we do, Luca? I've already spoken my judgment as the former queen. As for this deal, I leave the decision to Luca. Now what shall we do? I'll think about it. Actions speak louder than words in any case. I'll await the news of Lucia's defeat instead of your reply. Well then, I'll be waiting here. Once you defeat Lucia, I'll be free to become your comrade. Alright, anything over here? Nope. Alright, let's head out. That One-chan really such a bad guy? Well, yeah. She doesn't appear to be merely a tyrant. The situation would be simpler if she were, though. She hears the voices of the oppressed, eh? Those voices might just be in her own head. Maybe instead of saving the weak all over the world, the one Lily should actually save is herself. You. While we talk, I sense a magical presence approaching. Hello. Excuse me for intruding, but I serve Lady Lucia. Please, I ask that you come to our base in this village. It's up the stairs east of the inn in the eastern building. Again, pardon the interruption. Lucia is the rebels' leader, right? So the rebels have contacted us too. I figured that the other side would try to win us over as well. For now, let's go to the hill east of the inn. We can decide what's right after we listen to them. When you're trying to break up a fight, you need to listen carefully to both sides before deciding one sidely. That's what Gray told me, at least. Once you decide who to beat, tell me. Until then, Hilda will be drinking tea. Alright. Let's head over there. Well, even Lily has realized that we have a base right under her nose. Of course, we're using multiple seclusion techniques and have cast insulation spells. Lady Lucia has come here and is waiting below. Would you please listen to her request? I was given power by Lady Lily, and I broke free from my daily abuse with that power. Even now I am grateful to her. However, with this power spread all over the world, it's because I've acquired the power of magical tentacles myself. I understand the implications. This power should remain a secret, and spreading it should be forbidden. I don't know about forbidden, regulated, sure. I'm an only bodyguard. I've been hired for money. But I am against what that Lily person does. Those kinds of arcane powers should remain hidden. It's kind of hypocritical for a monster to step in and dictate what arcane powers should be spread, isn't it? Monsters had magical powers even before the disaster. Agreed. Your secrecy is what makes arcane powers arcane. I don't think that's the issue, Kamuro. We need to pay salaries to our mercenaries. Resistance is sure is expensive. Well, that's the price we have to pay to stop Lily. If his philosophy is too dangerous. Grow. Whatever you do, it always costs money. Our actual base is inside the tower to the south. This is our reconnaissance hideout. Our monster mercenaries weren't randomly recruited, by the way. We only recruited those who agree with our goal and mindset. I see. So you chose carefully. No wonder you didn't pick a drove of orcs. Power is a drug. If acquired too easily, it makes you drown in it. You're right. If I suddenly received great power, I would surely become a new Suppa! Is what you would do. Tentacle magic is a technique where users summon magic tentacles into their own body. Or rather, the tentacles become part of their bodies. Actually, tentacle magic isn't that mighty of a power. There are more powerful forbidden techniques out there in the world. What makes tentacle magic dangerous is that it's relatively easy to use. Even a young girl without any understanding of magic can use it. In exchange for having magical tentacles inside of you, there are side effects. Cloud of consciousness, loss of morals. It has a large adverse effect on one's mind. The joy from easily obtaining power, along with the reversal of the user and abuser positions, gives birth to sadism. That's the most dangerous part. There's nothing more dangerous than giving the oppressed the power of tentacle magic. That's what we think. Tentacle organism altered humans and pseudo monsters powered by magic. Both of these are called magic monsters. They have high resilience to fire, ice, and lightning elements. In exchange, they are weak against wind, earth, and water, the natural elements. They have the same properties. I'd be happy if you remembered that. I see. Magic crystal, take it. Alright, now talk to Lucia. Put some clothes on, woman. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the Resistance's leader, Lucia. I sense magic power from both of your arms. Could it be that you two are... Yes, I assisted in Lily's research. When it comes to alchemy, I have even more experience than Lily herself. But I part from her now, and as the Resistance's leader, I want to overthrow her. So you now stand in opposition to your former ally. Why do you want to overthrow Lily if you used to be comrades? I heard that you're against the spread of tentacle magic, but still. If Lily spreads the power of tentacle magic to the entire world, society itself will fall into turmoil. Not really, considering that humanity as a whole has gotten so much more powerful, and tentacle humans are only a tier 2 race. Power should remain secret. Certainly it could give the weak the strength they need to overthrow their oppressors, with violence and hatred. That's what has already happened in this village. A tragedy. You all probably already know how grave a cost it inflicted. Considering all the men that were killed were buttholes to begin with, I see this as an absolute win! Power is a source of avarice, especially when the weak acquire it for the first time. I too was a victim of this village. I have not a speck of sympathy for the men who died. However, if tentacle magic techniques are spread, what happened in this village will likely happen elsewhere as well. You mean a whole bunch of butthead men will be killed? You're not really selling me on your side right now. Just like it happened here, in even more horrifying forms. The feelings of hate that the weak have for the strong will erupt in the worst way possible. Lily is in the wrong. The position of the weak and the strong can switch very easily. Those who acquire this power will simply become the strong, and surely the day will come when they persecute the weak. That's where you have to call out your own when it happens. Well, you're mostly correct. The relationship between the oppressors and the oppressed often fluctuates. I don't want to agree with someone inhuman, but indeed, power has to be managed. It appears we misunderstood the situation. The rebels aren't fighting for control over the village. It's more fundamental than that. Whether technical magic should be approved or rejected, that is the true root of this conflict. Now, here is my proposal. You probably already guessed it, but I'd like for you to defeat Lily. I don't want you to kill her, I just want you to seal her power. As soon as you do that, our Resistance's mission will have been achieved. Once that happens, I'll be relieved of the burden of having to be a leader. In recompense, I'll lend you my strength by becoming your comrade. I thought of traveling and observing the world. I will take this as a good opportunity to do that. You'll join our party? We defeat Lily, Lucia says she'll join our parties. Now, what will we do? Now think about it. Is that so? Please consider it carefully. I'm sure you will realize how dangerous Lily is. I shall await the news of Lily's defeat at your hands. At that time, I shall become your comrade. I mean, really, when it gets down to it, the difference between you two want is execution or trial than execution. In the situations where Lily would be giving out power, the trial's basically already done. Guilty! Execute them. Now then, what we have to do is we have to tell both of them we're going to kick their ass. So that way we have access to both dungeons. I shall wait news of your victory. Did you have a change of heart? I'm gonna kick your ass! So I did not obtain your agreement. Negotiations are off, aren't they? Then I shall await you in the Tower of Magic. Since you obeyed Lily, you'll come to defeat me, won't you? As he uses teleportation magic, it disappears. Let's go to the Tower of Magic. Rebels headquarters are in the Tower of Magic is south. I have to respawn myself to fight Lucia. Now we're going to go tell... Now we're going to tell Lily. Then we're going to kick her ass. Ma, you still haven't defeated Lucia? Have you? Or maybe, have you had a change of heart? I'm gonna kick your ass! Defeat Lily, after all. So you plan to oppose me, after all? Then leave this place, now! Lily uses her magic power to throw the party out of the mansion. Alright. And then we shall have to decide what we're going to do next time.